Hello there. Hello. Welcome to another live stream here. Hope you're all doing well. Alrighty. Almost ready here. All right, let's get this stream underway. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. All right. Okay, so for today's little stream, we're going to be flying the 787-9. The Horizon 787-9 is what we're going to be flying today. As many of you probably know, this is a mod based on the default Asobo 787-10. So it's a pretty good aircraft. It is, it's pretty fun to fly. It is pretty fun to fly. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool indeed to fly. Okay. Let's have a quick look outside, shall we? There we go. The 787-9 by Horizon, based on the 787-10 by the default Asobo one, included in the higher versions of Microsoft Flight Sim. Today we are in 2020 once again. Decided to continue this flight in 2020, although this is available for 2024 as well. So after today's stream and the next stream, perhaps I can take out the same aircraft in 2024 and see how it performs in 2024. See what it looks like over there. Maybe it's better, who knows. But yeah, this is the 787-9 by Horizon, and we're sporting the American Airlines livery. That is part of the livery package that you can download directly from the fly-by-wire installer. So not the fly-by-wire installer, my bad, headwind simulations installer, I believe. So if we take a look at it from the drone camera, we can see that the details are really nice. I really like this aircraft. Yeah, there are some polygons here and there, but the details are quite nice. It is a bit, there are a bit of polygons, but as you can see, the engine is done fairly well. Nice textures. Look at that. Not too terrible, is it? Considering it's a free mod that gives you the 787-9. It's not too terrible, and this is 2020. Let's see how it looks like in 2024 in the next stream. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Yeah, one disadvantage it does have is that it doesn't have a cabin. Okay, so it does not have a cabin, and I don't know how to get into the cabin to set up some cabin views. So one disadvantage we're going to be having throughout this stream is the fact that we're not going to have a cabin view today. That kind of sucks. I don't care much about the cabin of an aircraft at all, especially if it's a really good aircraft. I really don't care about the cabin, but I do care about being able to set a few cabin views. And for some reason, I can't get into the cabin. Like, it has these windows here for that reason, so that you can set up some cabin views, but I'm unable to get into the cabin. So that kind of defeats the purpose. Otherwise, we could have had some really cool cabin views. So that's something we're going to miss today. Unfortunately, I'll see if there's something I can do off stream to make that happen. But for today, this is what we are working with. Not too terrible at all. Okay, without further delay, we're gonna head on into the cockpit. Okay, right before we do though, let me just the cockpit looks great. Aircraft isn't too bad. Let's just quickly have a look at Orlando, which I've flown out of many times. So yeah, it is not an airport that is new to me at all. You know, it is a star airport. It's handcrafted. Not too terrible, but not the best in the world either. So, you know, it's meh for a handcrafted airport. Anyway, let's just jump in here and get our flight started without any further delay. The tires are okay as well. They don't really have... They look a little bit too clean. Don't have too much detail on them, but, you know, I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Alrighty. Jumping in back into the cockpit. There we go. We are completely cold and dark. We've got external power available to us, but beyond that, we're completely cold and dark. Without further delay, let's get this started. We are flying to Atlanta today. I'm flying with live weather, but I'm not flying real time at the moment. So yeah, I'm not flying real time, but I am flying live weather. Okay, let me get external power going here. Let me get the batteries going there. Let me get our IRS system to align itself there. Emergency lights. Oh, they're armed already. Nav lights on. Passenger signs, we're going to put them on because I'm not going to refuel using GSX today, so we're just going to put them on directly here. Nothing else to do. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If we have the voice recorder control somewhere here, we could set that up as well, but I don't see the voice control or the voice recorder control anyway here. I don't see it. Obviously, this aircraft is not study level. It's something that's included by by Asobo in the sim for the premium deluxe or deluxe version or something like that of MSFS 2020. That's where it first came into existence, but it's also there for 2024 now as well. So anyway, in 2024 it's not as good though. I believe the external textures are not as good in 2024 anyway. Nonetheless, let me get this started up. We've got all that going. We can turn on our window heats. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to start my APU just yet. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask GSX here to board our aircraft. Request the boarding, please, American Airlines. Thank you very much. While that happens, I'm going to get rid of the yoke for a second and we're going to get started with the FMC here, or the CDU, whatever you like to call it. Position initialization. A reference airport for the day is KMCO. Okay, the route for the day is KMCO to KATL, which is Atlanta. Flight number, as usual, I'm just going to use my trusty FDN1 here. I'm not going to go to runway. Route request, please. Can take that down from SimBrief. What? What do you mean, no? That's not possible. That is not possible, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, route request one more time. Oh God. Okay, let me regenerate it. Oh, there's a problem with SimBrief. There is a problem with SimBrief. What on earth? Like, what are the chances of there being an issue with my SimBrief right now? Let me reload that once again. There's apparently an internal server error. Oh my goodness. Come on. Let me retry that one more time. Apologies, there isn't much I can do about this. Looks like I'm gonna have to regenerate my SimBrief plan. There's some sort of internal error going on with SimBrief. Just a minute. If that doesn't work, we can always program this in manually. It's not the end of the world. Here we go. We've got our stairs attached for passenger boarding, and I think SimBrief is not going to cooperate with us today. Gonna retry it one more time, and if it doesn't work, we're just gonna go in manually, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go in manually. Oh, it does work. Great. Okay, passenger bus has arrived. We can take a look at the boarding process as I try here to sort out our flight plan for the day, which is KMCO to KATL. And the aircraft we're using today is the 787-9 by Horizon. Okay, passenger boarding looking lovely there. There's a fire truck operating behind us. Is that a fire truck? It has to be a fire truck, right? A fire truck. Okay, passengers boarding. I always love to see this. It's really, really cool. And cargo loading too. Very, very nice. Obviously, there's an error with this GSX profile that I'm using. It's not an error with the GSX profile as per se. This door is inoperable in the aircraft, in the Horizon aircraft. So if we come down here to the tablet, if you look at the doors, only these three doors are operable. All the others are pretty much stuck in place. So the GSX profile shouldn't be loading cargo via this particular door. Neither should it be loading passengers here nor here. So that's a mistake in the GSX profile, I guess. That's something that needs a little bit of sorting out. Perhaps I'll edit that later, but yeah. It's okay for now. We're using the General Electric version. We are flying the GE engines today. Okay, and we're gonna try and make that flight plan. Let me try and get that sorted out. Okay, successful generation of flight plan. Let's see if this time it's gonna work or not. Route request, one more time. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Oh, there we go, it worked, yay. Let's load that in. Let's load that in. And I'm gonna execute it. There we go, that is good. Takeoff runway today is 17R. 17R. Okay. There we go. Let's go to our departure arrival for the day. Departure is out of 17R and we're going to use Jimmy 4. And we can execute that. Arrival is going to be into a runway 27 left in Atlanta. So 27 left, we'll use the ILS and we'll use the Jedi 3. There we go. Let's go to our legs here. Cape, we got Vectors before we turn in. We got Medusa, Jimmy. Got Pain, we got Shreks, we got Lyrie, we got Lars. We got a discontinuity. We need to sort that out. Sort that out right there. Any other discontinuities that I'm unaware of? There's one more, there isn't there? I saw one more of them right here. From Grumpy to there. We can execute that. That's fantastic. Let's now go towards our performance for the day. Before we go to performance, let's come here to settings. Let's look at the weight and balance. Let's set it from the OFP there. There we go. Fuel balanced. Completed. Ta-da! We've got a fuel quantity for the day, 24,846 pounds. We've got 345,584 as our zero fuel weight. 230 passengers being carried today. Everything looking good. So let's set up our zero fuel weight there. Reserve fuel for the day. We're going to have to take a look at that though. we're gonna have to take a look at what our reserve is for the day. I'm estimating somewhere around 4.7, somewhere there. Okay, so it's gonna be 4.4 reserves. Final reserves 4.5. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use the final reserves here or every other fuel, but I think I'm doing the right thing here, so I'm just gonna leave it exactly the way it is there. Brilliant. What else do I have to do? We've got our cost index. Cost index is really low here at 15, but I'm gonna go 40. I'm gonna go 40. Center of gravity, I'm just gonna clear that. We're gonna work on this a little later. That is fine. Fuel freeze temperature is -37. Okay, all that is fine. Thrust, I am pretty sure we're supposed to derate our thrust today. So let me look at the performance. There is a performance calculator included right here, by the way, in the tablet. Like, we could use that. It's not that difficult, you know. So we could use this. We could use it, or I could just use SimBrief's performance calculator. So let me try use this one and the SimBrief performance calculator. We'll see how different they are. So QNH 29.92 is what it's telling me right now. It is 30.12. So 30.12. Outside air temperature 23 degrees Celsius. I hope that's how it. Oh, 73 Fahrenheit. Okay, that's great. Wind is 260/3 knots. Oh god. Okay, that didn't work. There we go. No. Okay, how about that? Did that work? No. 260/3. I don't know if that worked. I don't think it worked, did it? No. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna bother too much about that. Okay, flap configuration. We're gonna use 5. Let's use optimum. Thrust optimum. AI configuration. What is this? I don't know. I'm just gonna. Okay, let me calculate that. Wait, come on. Auto. Calculate. So yeah, we've got all of this stuff here, but derating the thrust and 56 degrees, and this is the speeds that we've got and whatever. I haven't even inputted the CG at the moment. Okay, I've not even inputted the CG at the moment. So if we look at this cruise CG at the moment is, what is the CG at the moment? I need to pick that up from here, don't I? 26. So that's interesting. 26. We can calculate it again. Now at the same time, let me try the SimBrief calculator. So the SimBrief tells me 143, 144, 147. And it's giving me a flap setting of 5. Temperature of 53, which is close enough. Yeah, I'm gonna just use the. Yeah, I'm gonna use the SimBrief. Yeah, I'm gonna use the SimBrief one, not the one that's given here. So, but yeah, it can be done here is my point. But nonetheless, we're gonna use the SimBrief data here. Okay, going backwards, let's go to performance. Once again, all of this is correct. That's great. Thrust limit, we're derating it to temperature is 53. And we're going to take it down to derating by 20%. Okay, let's do that. And then takeoff is flaps 5. Thrust 53, derated, that is fine. And then we got 1, 2, 3. There we go. Takeoff gross weight is going to be, hold on a second. Our takeoff weight is going to be 369.3. So it's going to be 369.3 is going to be our takeoff gross weight. And let's redo that. 135, 140, 149. Now the sim brief speed tells us 143, 144, 147. Let's see which one is more accurate when we take off. So if 135 versus 143. SimBrief tells me 143. I trust SimBrief a little bit more than this calculation here, but let's see. Let us see, ladies and gentlemen, let us see. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. We're done. As you can tell, it says FMC pre-flight completed. And we are good. Okay, we are good. It's looking good, isn't it? Brilliant. That is all fine. If we come outside, I'm pretty sure all the boarding processes have finished. Yes, they have. That is great. I'm going to close this door manually here using GSX. Because it doesn't always do that by itself for some reason. So I'm just going to close the door here. There we go. Door closed. We're pretty much ready to get on out of here. Passengers are boarded. We should have turned on our APU. I forgot about that completely. So let's go ahead and turn on our APU here so the passengers don't get stuffy in the cabin. So yeah, we are pretty much ready to get on out of here. Just gonna turn that on there. I don't know how to get into the cabin of this aircraft. I wish I could, but you can't go through this wall. So there's no way to set up a view, which kind of sucks. But, you know, gotta make do with what you got. Okay, brilliant. I think we're ready here. After this vector, we gotta turn back around. That is why it's the way it is, not a problem. I think we're ready for pushback and departure. So let's go ahead and request GSX. Prepare for pushback and departure. Thank you very much. We should see everything detaching like so. Brilliant. Brilliant. We're looking all right. Okay. Great. Oh, missed that marshal there by a narrow margin. Anyway. I'm just waiting on stuff. Okay, come right here, turn on our fuel pumps there. Gonna put all of this to automatic. I am going to... So APU is running? Yes, it is. APU is running. Brilliant. What else should I do here? What else should I do here? Oh yeah, beacon lights. Let's turn on the beacon lights there. Ground power is going to be disconnected automatically. That is, it's going to show you available nonetheless. As you can tell, we don't have anything connected to us, but this is just the way how the aircraft is for some reason. And we're going to turn our nose today to the left. Yeah, we need it to turn to the left. There we go. Nose is getting raised there. Brilliant. Oh, we need to set the trim. We need to set the trim. Nose to the left. So before we go anywhere with the takeoff, release parking brake there. Just gonna set our trim here to takeoff trim. I forgot to do that. Forgot to do that. We need at 5.25. So let's just do that quickly before we start up the engines. As a matter of fact, we could start up the engines as we do it. It's not that big of a deal. 5.5 and 5.25. There we go. Perfect. Trim set. Let's go ahead and start that engine, ladies and gentlemen. I hope the bleed is running. I assume it is. I assume it is. There we go. We got N2 rising up. Yep. Oh, we don't need to wait for N2 in the 787. You can just directly flick open the fuel cutoff there. It's gonna start up. Let's just make sure that our checklist is completed. I forgot about the checklist. I want to send the engine data to the other side though. Checklist is, I'm going to send that the other way. Perfect. Checklist is done. Passenger signs, MCP. Oh, we didn't do the MCP. Good lord, we got some stuff to do here. CDU pre-flight, that is fine. Takeoff speeds are done. We just need to do this, and passenger signs are set, right? Yeah. Okay, that is fine. We need to set up our local pressure for the day is 30.12. There we go. FT on, auto throttle armed. We need to set this at 180 for me. That's done. Normal. Okay, let me turn on our next engine, but first parking brake there. Brilliant. Turn on our second engine there. Let that start up. LNAV, VNAV, and initial cruising altitude of 10,000 feet, and then we'll climb on out to 40,000 afterwards. A little step climb there, not a problem, not a problem. TCAS is still off. I do not care about that at the moment. We can put that on XPDR if we like. We also need to set up our nav here in a second. We'll do that. Got the hand signal right there, although we can't see it from the cockpit. Still, we can only see her walk off in the distance here. Nonetheless, engines are running. That is great. The levers are looking good. Everything is looking good here. Let's go ahead and set up our lights for taxi right there. Taxi lights, and there we go. Just walking off right there. Anything else we need to do here? Let me just go and double confirm. Takeoff speed is 149, 150, 170 is a more reasonable climb out speed there. So I'll leave that out. Okay, anti-ice recall, auto brake RTO set, flight controls. Have we checked the flight controls? No, we haven't. Yeah, I mean, look, we could check the flight controls right here. So we could go, there we go, that's working. There we go, that's working. There we go, that's working. Wait, that's kind of funny. It's not going the whole way, is it? Wait, hold on. The rudder isn't... Oh, why isn't it going all the way down? Interesting. I don't know. But anyway, everything else is seemingly working. Spoilers are also working. Great. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. I'm just going to change the range on some of the stuff. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in on that. Zoom out, my bad. Okay, that's fine. Everything is working there. Flight controls, ground equipment. APU is still running, so I'm gonna turn that off now. APU cooldown. There we go. APU is done. I need to put our flaps here. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm not gonna wait. So flaps 5, 1, 2. That should take us to flaps 5 there. There we go. Brilliant. Before takeoff checklist completed there. Now it's after takeoff that we need to worry about, which for the time being we don't need to worry about. There we go. Okay, brilliant. Looking good. We are ready for taxi, if I'm not completely mistaken. We do have some warnings here. What is that? Packs are off. Oh, my bad. Good lord. It means the passengers have been sitting and stewing all this time without the packs running. We've got that running now, so that is fantastic. Okay, great. Great. Okay, what else is here? We need to put our anti-ice to automatic. Seatbelt signs are on. Taxi light is on. Everything else here is looking good. Yes. Air conditioning, the recirc fans, that's all fine. TCAS is still off, yes. Perfect. Okay, great. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get on out of here. I'm looking into getting MSFS. Is it worth it? I've heard it takes a long time to load everything. Which simulator do you fly? Before I can answer that question accurately, which simulator do you currently fly? What is your budget expectations to set up the sim fully? And what kind of airlines do you fly mainly? What is your focus? What are you interested in? Accurate flight simulation, or are you interested in graphics? Are you just someone who's just trying to have a little bit of fun on the side, or are you someone who's pretty serious about flight sim? So if you can give me a bit more detail, I'll have a more accurate recommendation for you as to whether you should get Microsoft Flight Sim. So if you could do that, I'd be happy to tell you. Okay, give me a second here. I'm a little bit confused as to which way to go now. So let me just turn on the parking brake for a second and take a quick look here, see which way to go. Oh, this is also a good chance for me to look at a little nav map here, show you guys a little nav map. Today's route, very simple. Orlando to Atlanta, fairly easy. Look at that, that's it. Very simple route today. We're gonna take off, turn back around like this. We got a vector there, and then we're gonna go straight up towards Atlanta, land fairly simply, quite easy, straight in towards runway 27 left. There we go, using the ILS. So that's our route here today. Just to let you guys know, I'm just using this as a guide to see where on earth I am. So yeah, I can just continue on this taxiway first, and that should take me towards where I want to go. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to put away little nav map, and we're going to release parking brakes. Yeah, there we go. I don't fly any sims. I was looking into getting Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm looking to be realistic, VATSIM, etc. But I've heard good and bad thing about the game. I also don't have any equipment. You don't have any equipment, like no joystick, none of that stuff, right? But I'd like to fly commercial planes. Okay, here's my honest opinion on the whole thing. If you're looking for extreme realism, including VATSIM and whatever it is, if you're looking for extreme realism on flight simulation, I recommend X-Plane 12, not Microsoft Flight Simulator. Especially if you're going to be flying only commercial jets. Okay? Because if you're going to fly GA and VFR flights, then Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 would be my recommendation. 2020 is not bad at all either. But if you're going to fly commercial jets, X-Plane 12 is my recommendation. Not just that, it is cheaper to get started, although the planes are more expensive in X-Plane 12, they're worth it. And yeah, that is my recommendation. Unless you're flying VFR and GA and stuff like that, that's where MSFS is quite good because of the graphics, and they have a lot of GA planes, which, you know, it's just better VFR flying experience. But if you're going to fly airliners for accurate flight simming, you need to get X-Plane. That is my recommendation. And 2024 has better lighting than 2020. So if you do nighttime flying, you cannot do nighttime flying in 2020. It just looks absolutely atrocious. 2024 is better, much better than 2020 in terms of lighting, but X-Plane is way up there when it comes to lighting. Much better in terms of lighting. So even at nighttime, you'll be able to fly very, very comfortably and enjoyably in X-Plane 12. So yeah, if you're considering 2020, I would rather you get X-Plane 12 if you're into hardcore simulation. But given that you don't fly any sims at the moment, it can be a little bit daunting for you to get started on X-Plane, perhaps. But at the same time, it's very intuitive. It's not that much of a, like, I'm fairly new to X-Plane 12 myself. I got it a couple of months ago. I've literally performed my first flight in less than a week, just a few days ago, literally. My first flight on X-Plane 12, and I'm already recommending it for airline flights, 100%. So yeah, you just make sure you set up either map enhancement or auto ortho, and you're good to go. Anyway, even with default aircrafts, X-Plane 12 gives a better airline flying experience, in my opinion, than MSFS. So that would be my conclusive opinion, my conclusive thoughts on that. But if you insist on getting X-Plane, on MSFS 2020, that's okay too, but you're gonna have to spend some money to get accurate aircrafts, like, something from PMDG or something like that. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Let's turn that around. Fighter jets and other military planes too. Okay, so if you're looking for default aircraft, MSFS does not have any real good default military aircraft. Okay, it doesn't really, the jets are not so great. It has an F-18 and that's pretty much it. So in terms of military jet flying, if you're looking for default stuff, I would still say X-Plane 12. But neither is a good option for military flying. You want to stick to DCS or something for military flying. But if you had to do it in the same sim, X-Plane 12 still. MSFS, you're going to have to spend some money to buy all those extra jets and stuff if you want to fly. But there are some really good military jets available for Microsoft Flight Sim. I just want to tell you that. So yeah, overall, I think for you could get 2020, yeah. But at the same time, keep in mind that 2024 is out. A lot of the new developers are rapidly switching over to 2024. It's getting better. At the same time, it's not the best. It's very difficult to recommend 2020, man. Or 2024. It's very difficult to recommend Microsoft Flight Sim, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let me get on out of here. Enough of me rambling on about this. I hope I answered your question. You're very welcome. Let's go ahead and get this thing started up and get on out of here. TCAS is still off. We got to turn that on. And let's boogie out of here. Anything we need to worry about? No, sir. Okay, let's go. Parking brakes off. Let's put that throttle up. Let's go toga. There we go. Okay, rotate. A little sluggish there to get off the ground. Perhaps Simbrief was right about the V-speeds. There we go. Definitely a little sluggish there. Oh god, I wasn't supposed to do that. My bad. Accidentally turned on the autopilot. I was supposed to do this instead. There we go. Up on out of there we go. Still too early for flaps to go up. Just gonna continue hand flying this thing for the time being. There is Orlando. Lovely. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead here first, and then we need to make sort of like a left turn here. Very nice. The graphics are so nice. Yes, they are. They're really, really lovely. This is 2020, which is why it looks this good. I know that that's kind of weird. So 2020 looks good in certain circumstances. 2024 looks better in other circumstances. That is a funny thing. Okay, so I'm gonna engage autopilot here for a second, and I'm gonna go ahead and raise our flaps if I can. Let that speed go up. There we go. And I'm gonna come to legs here, and we're gonna go directly towards that. There we go. Brilliant. Let's put that flap up. Looking good. Auto brakes off. All that is good. Landing lights are still on. That is fine. Taxi lights are off. We are looking all right as we get on out of here. So yeah, 2020 looks amazing right now. During the day, 2020 looks better than 2024. However, vegetation looks better in 2024. Lighting is slightly better in 2024. However, the ground textures and the details and all that stuff are better in 2020. When it turns nighttime, 2020 is no good. 2024 is good at night. Okay? It's not excellent. X-Plane is excellent at night. 2024 is good during the nighttime. So that is how it goes. So there's a lot of caveats. There's so many little, buts and ifs when it comes to answering the question of which one is better. But yeah, the graphics in 2020 is still absolutely amazing, and that's why I still fly it. I have 2024, I have X-Plane 12. I fly 2020 and X-Plane 12 now more than 2024. 2024 is just annoying. It has a lot of bugs as well. It still has a lot of teething issues and all sorts of shenanigans going on with it. So that's the problem. So 10,000 feet coming up. Let's go ahead and set our cruising altitude here. And we'll climb on directly out to 40,000. We can turn off our landing lights right there. We can, those are already off, that's great. We can turn off our seatbelt signs, bring them back down to automatic. We're climbing, which is what I want to see. Auto brakes off, speed brakes stowed correctly. Flaps are up, looking good, looking good. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Up out of here we go. Up out of here we go. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Let's have a look at our checklist here, shall we? Checklist, that is done. And next is just descent checklist. We don't need to worry about that anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There is the airport, Orlando International. We've just completed our U-turn pretty much. And we're on our way, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how lovely we look. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. If you're still here, I also want to mention something else to you. The feeling of flying in X-Plane 12 and Microsoft Flight Simulator, whichever one it is, 2020 or 2024, are completely different. X-Plane feels like you're flying a plane. You can feel the wings, you can feel the weight, you can feel it. It's absolutely a beautiful flight experience. MSFS feels like a game. It feels like a very advanced game. It feels like a simulator game, if that makes sense. And that's not to take away anything from Microsoft Flight Sim. It has its areas of strength, like discussed in detail, but that's something that I want to mention right here, because when I first flew in X-Plane 12, it was just something else. I was like, wow, that feels so much better. I saw 2020 on Steam on sale. I've always wanted to fly planes, but it's expensive to get into. Yeah, it is expensive, man. It is so expensive. Very, very expensive. And Microsoft Flight Sim will set you back quite a bit. So will X-Plane 12 in all honesty, but I feel like in the end, you know, if you're looking for more variety, Microsoft Flight Sim might be the way to go because it does have a lot you can do. So perhaps Microsoft Flight Sim, since you're trying to get into it, perhaps Microsoft Flight Sim. As for buying a simulator on Steam, I know you can, but I recommend against it. I would recommend against purchasing simulators on Steam. Obviously, if that's the one that fits in your budget, then it's not that big of a deal. Go ahead and purchase it. But okay, let's switch our altimeters here since we've crossed the transition altitude of 18,000 feet. We'll switch it to standard, and that has happened on both sides. Okay, that's fine. Anything else we need to do here? I don't see anything else missing from what we need to do. Nope. So that is looking good for us. It's looking good for us. Can you fly anywhere in the world like MSFS in X-Plane 12? Technically, yes, you can, but in X-Plane 12, once you install it, you have to install the global scenery, which is already there in the installer. It's not like it's complicated or anything. After you install it, if you want to get a better experience on X-Plane 12, in all honesty, you need to have either map enhancement or auto ortho running, both of which are free, by the way. It's just that they take a little bit of effort, not too much, it's not too complicated, but a little bit of effort to set up auto ortho. It takes next to no effort to set up map replacement. So you can use either map replacement for X-Plane or auto ortho. And what that does is it turns the terrain underneath you into satellite imagery. So that gives you a better flying experience. It looks much better with auto ortho and sim heaven running, all of which are free for X-Plane 12. So that is the only thing. But apart from that, you can go anywhere in the world pretty much, yes, in X-Plane 12. I do want to mention though, X-Plane has about 30 something thousand airports if I'm not wrong, and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has 80 something thousand. And I believe 2020 has 40 something thousand, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But X-Plane does have fewer airports than Microsoft Flight Simulator does globally. Beyond that, you can fly anywhere in the world, yes. X-Plane is more for commercial flying is what X-Plane is for. If you want to fly from little airstrips and airports and tiny little bush strips and things like that, then MSFS is the way to go. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but I'm trying to give you as comprehensive and detailed and accurate as information as possible. So yeah. That is pretty much it. So yes, you can fly anywhere in the world, but again, X-Plane 12 is for commercial and like jet, you know, regional jets and anything above that is what X-Plane 12 is ideal for. So you'll be flying out of more major airports. You know, you wouldn't do bush trips on an X-Plane 12 platform. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah. Anyway, once again, double checking across the cockpit. We're just panning across our instruments here. Everything is looking absolutely fantastic. We can go ahead and turn on some weather here. In case if there's anything as we come into fly into Atlanta, we can turn on terrain on this one, just in case there's something that we need to look at on the way, which I highly doubt. We're climbing on out towards 40,000 feet, fairly good climb out, fairly good speeds. We got a little bit of a headwind component, nothing too serious. Yeah, we're looking okay. I don't think there's anything else I really need to do in this cockpit for the time being until pretty much top of descent, so we can just muck about. Unfortunately, the thing I hate about the 787 in Microsoft Flight Sim, at least the default one and the ones based on it like the Horizon and Kuro, is the fact that it doesn't have a cabin. It does not have a cabin. And the external views that are available to us aren't really the best. That's not too terrible. That's not too terrible either. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, we'll leave it on this view for the time being. And just cycle through the views, see. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, that is not good at all. It's not good. No. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. This is an okay view. So we're just gonna go back to this view here for the time being. But yeah, it sucks that we can't go into the cabin and look out. So I'll have to see if there's any way to set that up. Because if I can do that, then I feel like it's a more complete experience. But the ground here looks absolutely amazing. Clouds look very good. Yeah. Visually, it's a treat. But as you can tell, MSFS lighting is a little bit, I don't know how to put it. There's a word for it, but I don't know the word for it, the technical term for it. It looks a little bit gamey. I'm not talking about gaminess in terms of food or whatever. I'm talking about it looks a little bit gamey, you know? Whereas X-Plane 12 has more realistic lighting, which I really enjoy. Anyway, I shall fly the same aircraft in 2024. Maybe I'll do the return leg in 2024. Not on this live stream, but the next live stream, what I'll do is I'll fly from Atlanta to Orlando. I'll do that in 2024 with the very same aircraft. We'll compare how the two go. So yeah. I just want to mention today I don't have control over the reverse thrust on my throttle quadrant. For some reason, it's not responding to this aircraft. And for that reason, I'm going to have to use the keyboard. I'm going to have to use the keyboard to toggle on reverse thrusts here. Unfortunately, it is not responding. But yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, let me see if I can get that view on there. These are not good views, man. Fortunately, no cabin view. Huh. Okay, that is an okay view there. That's an okay view right there. Good. Thank you for the follow, mate. Acupov Vinyl. Wait. Did I just read that as Acupov Vinyl? It literally says a cup of vinyl. My goodness. A cup of vinyl. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. A cup of vinyl. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it very much, mate. Alrighty. Let's go and do what I usually do on these streams when I got when we need some chit chat to go on. Let's go ahead and take a look at some aviation news, as I usually like to do. Okay, aviation news. What do we have? Who do we have? Oh yeah, I did read about this particular news in one of my earlier live streams. There was an engine issue with an American Airlines Airbus A321 that had to return to, that had an overweight landing in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is now back to service. So what happened in that incident? So what happened was the American Airlines flight, it was AA1823. It was taking off this Wednesday from Phoenix to Charlotte Douglas International Airport, North Carolina. And A321, it took off, it was an A321-200, and it took off at 12:27 p.m. So yeah, it took off, but unfortunately they had to shut down engine number 2. Right, they had to shut down engine number 2 and come back in for a landing. However, the aircraft has been serviced and returned back to regular flying. after its overweight landing. Okay. Okay. Cup of Vinyl, thank you for the detailed response. I think I'll look into a joystick and a yoke and get X-Plane. Yeah, I mean, that would be my recommendation too, mate. That would be my recommendation. If you're looking to focus on commercial flying, then that is an excellent choice and an excellent way to go. Just remember, whichever sim you go with, at the end of the day, it's an expensive hobby to get into. Okay, it really is. There's gonna be some spending involved, whether it's aircrafts, add-ons, joysticks, and all that stuff. You know, whatever it is, there's gonna be some expense involved in there. But yes, X-Plane is a good choice with a couple of a good or even a decent joystick and a throttle quadrant. You've got yourself a party right there. You've got yourself a party right there. You've got yourself a good time. So yeah, if you wanna get some detailed models, X-Plane by default has like there are some excellent aircrafts that you can get on X-Plane. Like for example, you've got the default laminar A330, which is not too terrible. There's a mod for it from Aerogenesis A330 that slightly improves it. You can use that, it's all free. Then you've got the 737-800. There's a Zibo mod 737-800, which is excellent, better than payware 737s out there. Then you've got Sparky 747-400 available. You've got those free E-jets. You've got free E-jets available for X-Plane 12, all of which are excellent excellent simulation. So you can get all of that for free on X-Plane 12. So that is a very, very, very solid starting point with X-Plane 12, right? EM, hello. I finally get third education completely, received my diploma and a certificate of accreditation of a specialist. Congratulations, EM, on the completion of your education and the diploma. Congratulations. I hope you are relieved and satisfied and proud of getting that done, mate. Glad to hear it. Very, very good. Very good. All right. Good morning to you too, mate. Good morning. It's been a while since I caught you on one of my streams. I mean, I've been streaming at erratic times, so actually that is entirely my fault. I'll work on a schedule. I'm getting there. It's just things have been hectic. So a few days ago, Atlanta evacuated their ATC because of hail and bad weather and heavy winds. Yeah, Atlanta tends to have some pretty horrible weather. That is not new to Atlanta at all. In fact, on my channel, I have a few videos where I fly into Atlanta in terrible weather. I think I've done that more than once, even on live stream once as well, because Atlanta is a hotspot for such weather. But that is crazy, man. Hail and bad weather, huh? Hail. Ooh, hail is rough. Hail is rough. EM, I think, and I think it is last. Oh, okay. Now time to feel the life, right? Yeah, man, I felt the same way when I was done with my education. I'm glad it's over. That's all I can say. I'm glad it's over. So yeah, I'm happy for you. You should kick back a little bit, relax. At least for the next couple of days, take some steam off of all of that. Okay, we're still climbing here to our cruising altitude. Just about reached 40,000 feet. We're crossing 39,000. So yeah, that took us a while to get to our cruising altitude. Perhaps should have used a higher cost index or something. But top of descent is not that far away either. As you can tell, it's right there, less than about somewhere near 90 nautical miles, I would like to say. But yeah, it's not too far away at all. It is not too far away at all. Yep, there you go. Around 90 nautical miles is what I would say it is at. This is 120, 100. Yeah, it's about it's about 100 nautical miles away. Top of descent is 100 nautical miles away, which isn't going to take long at all. So yeah, perfect. We're not even going to stay at 40,000 feet for 100 nautical miles. Yeah, just about 100 nautical miles is all we're going to stay at our cruising altitude. Short flight today. Pretty quick as well. Mach 8.45. I mean, sorry, Mach 8, my bad. Mach 0.846, which is pretty quick. 0.846, which is very quick. It's powered by Rolls-Royce, sounds like. This is not the Rolls-Royce one, no. No, this is not powered by Rolls-Royce. This is powered by General Electric. These are the General Electric engines. If I can see the tag on that. Oh, there's no tag on them. But yeah, this is the GE version. General Electric version of the 787. Look at that. We can see the moon. Crystal clear. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, I'm flying the General Electric version of the 787. Looking good. Feeling good, and in no time we're going to be at the top of descent, so very short flight here today. Just over an hour into the stream at the moment. Gonna probably be another 30 minutes, I expect, 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll be done with today's stream. Gonna have some good time with some landing replays today as well. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it is really beautiful. It is a beautiful aircraft, the 787. Really beautiful aircraft. I just wish that there was a more in-depth simulation available. I think there's one by Bravo Airspace, but I wish there was like a really in-depth one. I also wish the default 787 had a cabin, man. Just so I can get the cabin views. Not that I care about the cabin per se. I just want the window views, you know? I'm a big fan of the window views. Just for that. But anyway, not too bad, not too bad. 80 nautical miles out to top or descent. To top or descent. Okay. Let me continue looking at some stuff here. Okay, we've got American Eagle. Embraer E175 grounded after a catering vehicle crash in Boston. American Airlines is having quite a number of minor incidents, huh? The driver of a Sky Chef catering vehicle reportedly suffered minor injuries after colliding with an American Eagle Embraer jet on the ramp. Boston Logan International Airport, Boston, Massachusetts, I believe. Of course it is. The aircraft, operated by Republic Airways, had no one on board at the time of the accident, according to the news. Operated by Republic Airways, but operated for American Eagle. Okay, fine. So it had arrived at Boston from JFK in New York. So yeah, interesting. Republic Airways. Republic Airways. Oh, okay. So Republic Airways has over 240 aircrafts, and it operates as a subsidiary carrier for American, Delta, and United. Interesting. I need to look into their operations and fly a few flights on that. So they do have their own airlines, but then they serve as a subsidiary carrier for these three major airlines. That's a good business model. I like that. I like that. Okay. So it's not clear who drove into what, but from the pictures that I'm looking at, it seems like the ground vehicle drove into the jet. So yeah, how that happens, I have no idea. Anyway. I should start sharing my screen when I'm looking at this news and stuff like that, right? I'll look into setting that up properly. I need to remind myself to do that. Okay, and yesterday I talked about how the A321 XLR is being taken, the delivery of it is going to be taken by Qantas, and that has happened. Qantas has taken delivery of first A321 XLR that it has on order. So that's expected to be in service soon, I guess. Nice. Nice. We also have a little bit detail on the issues faced by the A220. So yeah, it was initially well liked by passengers and airlines, you know. However, it's been having a lot of issues being successful operationally. And a 5-year-old Airbus A220 has already been scrapped by Egypt Air. That is concerning. That is very, very quick for an aircraft to be scrapped in just 5 years by an airline. That is crazy. That is crazy. So that is such a new aircraft that's already been scrapped because airlines are having a tough time making the A220 work operationally. So that is a problem. That is a problem. I do want to fly it on a sim though. Still waiting. The jet literally has more value as for spare parts. So interesting. So apparently Egypt Air has been facing issues with the A220's Pratt & Whitney PW1500G engines. So yeah, that is a problem, and pandemic didn't help the A220 either. That's a shame because the A220 does seem like a great aircraft from an aviation engineering and comfort point of view. From airmanship point of view, it looks like a great aircraft to fly. Unfortunately, operationally, it doesn't have the success that is required to justify it. Makes sense. And I think the A220 is coming to the sim, right? Some major developer has announced the A220 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I forget, is it Synaptics? Who announced A220? I forgot. Anyway, I just hope that it's good because I do want to fly that aircraft. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. I have never, and I repeat, I've never flown any regional jet. Any proper regional jet like Embraers or any of that. And I want to get into that. I think I'll do that in X-Plane 12. I'll get my hands on the jets by X-Crafts or something, and I'll start there. Seems like a good point to start. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to flying a few of those. Anyway, topper descent coming up really, really quickly here. Not long to go at all. Less than 40 nautical miles. I would say somewhere around 35 nautical miles go towards topper descent. So yeah, we'll get the MCP message asking, we'll get the FMC message asking us to change the MCP altitude. And that's when we know, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to kick it into descent. Looking good. Absolutely fantastic. 40,000 feet, eh? That is pretty high up there. It's pretty high up there. Yeah, it's impressive. The cruising altitude is impressive. It is very impressive. So yeah, the whole thing of 787 is efficiency, so makes sense that it can fly really high there. Anyway. Okay, 20 nautical miles out to top of descent. We should be getting the message anytime now, asking us to put our altitude down here. Seatbelt signs, everything. Just skimming through one more time, making sure that everything is in order. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at our checklist. Descent checklist. Recall done. Auto brake not yet. Landing data. We haven't done that just yet, have we? Approach, we need to set this up in a bit. Approach briefing, I'm gonna say completed. Okay, there we go. Let's set our altitude down to where it's supposed to be. Let me come in here for a second. What is our final altitude? 2,800 feet is what I want to be at to catch the glide slope, and I'm gonna make it 2,800. Let's go. So 2,800 feet, and we're gonna leave that in, and top of descent it should automatically begin descending. Whoa, hold on. I'm going to say hold for a second. I don't want to descend just yet. Okay, so let's come to auto brake here to position number 2, which is what I like to use this today. I think it would be a good choice. Top of descent is right there. Auto brake done. Landing and VREF man. Let's look at that. There we go. VREF is done. Minimums, we'll set that up here. We'll use radio 200 today as minimums. That's a little too much. Top of descent, I'm just gonna do that. And I'm gonna put that on VNAV. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna come down a little bit. $360, I'm gonna use, oh come on. I hate that about this thing. Okay. Now let's use radio 200 as our minimums. And that is done. Come on, descend, mate. There we go. Okay. My bad, I forgot to press the descent. That is done. Descent checklist completed there. Now it's just approach altimeters. We can wait for that. We can wait for that. Perfect. Looking good. There we go. On our way. Down into Atlanta. Looking good. RTO is like 4 configuration of auto brakes off, or what's the difference? RTO is rejected takeoff, and that one is only used during takeoff, just in case the aircraft rejects its takeoff. It applies some sort of extreme braking or the appropriate amount of braking required to stop within the runway length that is left. So that is what RTO is for. So you don't use RTO while you land or in any other circumstance. It's just used in cases of rejected takeoff, which is why you set auto brake to RTO before you take off. But auto brake 4 is pretty strong. So yeah, RTO I think varies. I'm not sure. The strength of the brake application during RTO, I think it varies if I'm not wrong, depending on the amount of runway length available. I think more intelligent systems can do that. Otherwise, I imagine it's going to be pretty strong braking. But yeah, that's what it's for. You can use auto brake 4 if you're landing into a short runway and it's slippery, or like runway is wet or something like that. Then you'll use like stronger auto brakes. In our case, we've got a long runway. It's dry, most likely. From what I'm looking at the weather in Atlanta. Yeah, it's VFR conditions in Atlanta right now, so we can just use auto brake 2. So that is how that works. I hope I answered your question. Anyway, we're a little bit above our descent profile here. I'm gonna help the aircraft catch up with it. We're gonna descend a little quicker there, give passengers a scare, you know, just like that. Just give it a quick descent there, just so we catch up with our VNAV profile, which we're a little bit too high. We're a little bit too high. So I just want to help our aircraft descend a little bit quicker, way quicker than it should probably. But yeah, let me have a look. What? 63 nautical miles to 9,300 feet. We don't need to do this. We are descending way too... Okay, that's enough. That's enough of speed brake right there. I'm going to put that away. We're going to put that away because we're pretty much... There's our descent profile. Thank you. You're welcome, EM. Anytime. No problems. No problem. You're welcome. Okay, there we go. Now we're back on the descent profile. I really didn't need to do that. That was completely unnecessary, but you know, why not? For the heck of it. It's nice to play around and see how the aircraft responds. Very quiet on the outside right now. Obviously, engine is on idle as we try to descend down. Looking good. Very, very good weather. At 18,000 feet, I need to set up my altimeters there. To set up altimeters, 10,000 feet, we need to turn on our lights, get the passenger signs going. What else is there in the checklist? Altimeters are by approach. We've got some time for that. No need to worry. We got some time for that. Let's just have a look at the systems here. Air. Interesting. It's all working well. I'm just passing time here, pressing random buttons. Electric. Hydraulics. 3 systems of hydraulics, right? Yeah, we've got 3 systems. Is that right? Where are the hydraulics? Hydraulics is also powered by electric. Oh yeah, the 787 is very, very dependent on electricity. It's very highly dependent on electricity there. So yeah, there's a lot of electric systems all around. Anyway, fuel looking good. Our reserve is supposed to be 4.4. We're all right. We're all right there. There's a slight discrepancy there with fuel because the APU is from the left aft tank, I believe. Yeah, I believe APU draws fuel from this tank, and that's probably why there's a slight difference in the fuel levels. Nothing major at all. Okay, doors obviously closed. Gear, flight control there, looking good. This page is not available. EFIS maintenance is not available. CB is not available. I don't know what CB stands for, but yeah. Okay, everything looking good. Status: hydraulics looking good. APU, yeah, we're not running it. Oxygen, liquid cooling. Okay. Status messages all clear. Perfect. Perfect. We got any recalls? Nothing. We got nothing. All good. We can hide and do this if we want to, but I like to leave this on. No harm in there. We're descending a little too quickly now. I forgot to inform you about my last flight on 787-8, and yes, it can fly without stops for refueling. I was wondering to see this plane slowly comes closer to KPAE. Ah, yes, I remember. I remember the flight you were talking about, mate. So, okay, yeah, so it can fly without refueling. Yep, that it can. It's a very long-range aircraft. Nice. How did that flight go for you? Did you enjoy it? Okay, we've got transition altitude here. Let's switch from standard to local pressure, which is 30.00. Double confirming that. In Atlanta, Hartsfield, it's supposed to be 30.02 at the airport. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that up to 30.02 for now. And when we come into the airport, we'll double check that with the weather, with the METAR information. But for now, we seem to be doing okay-ish. Yeah, so that's done. Let's look at our descent checklist here. Altimeters are done. Move on to landing now. We just need to... Yeah, that's a landing checklist. There's still time for the landing checklist to be confirmed and completed. All right. All right. Let's increase the range on that. We are going on over to Jeddah. That is the beginning of our arrival into Hartsfield, Atlanta. Beautiful. Beautiful. We've been flying with engines idle for a while now. We've just been gliding. Literally just been going engines idle and just... That's so cool that this aircraft can do that. Because if you look at this, the fuel still hasn't changed. It's still the same. So this is a really, really efficient aircraft. Just cut the engines and glide down. Look at that. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, many airliners cut the engines to idle when gliding, of course, when you're descending, but to keep it idle for this long and just have, you know, just go along perfectly fine, that is absolutely nice. I like that. Very, very good indeed. I don't know if that's realistic, or that's how the actual aircraft operates, but it's pretty cool to see that here. Okay, a little bit under the VNAV profile, ideally. Yeah, we can see that we're descending a little too quickly. We're descending a little too quickly, but let's see how the aircraft decides to handle this. Let's see how the aircraft decides to handle this. There we go. We need to slow down a little bit there. That is really cool. That is really, really cool. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there as it decides whether to slow down or descend, but now we're gonna be slowing down, I believe. Why is the speed going up and down like this? There's weird behavior right there. There you go. There's weird behavior from the aircraft right there. The speed is decreasing, it slows down, and then it increases, it starts descending. So the FMC can't pick a speed at the moment. That is weird. Very weird behavior. I haven't seen this before. I have not seen this before. Come on, mate. Just keep it at 240. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, let's go up to 250. Let's go up to 260. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it back to VNAV. Because if I don't, we're gonna be too low. We're way too low. Yeah, we're too low. We are too low, mate. 8,000 right now is too low. It is too low. I'm gonna hold the altitude for some time. I am going to hold the altitude for some time. I'm gonna reduce our speed here manually. It is too low. EM says, I fly westbound route through Russia airspace and deeper to west above Alaska. My feelings was like you now. Ah. Cool, mate. Westbound through Russian airspace, deeper into Alaska. Okay. Okay. Alaska must have been beautiful. Must have been a really cool flight. Okay, I'm gonna hold the altitude for the time being till I reach here, and then I'll give it back to VNAV. See if it behaves itself once we reach this waypoint. Okay. Let's see if it behaves. Let's see if it behaves. There we go. Now I'm gonna give it back off to VNAV here. Let me see if it's gonna do what needs to be done. Okay, I think we're back on track. I think we're back on track. There we go. It's behaving appropriately now. I think we need a bit of drag. Yeah, we need a bit of drag. It's having a tough time holding on to this current profile there. It's just a little bit of drag to help it along. Not too much. Not too much. There we go. Looking good. Okay, so we have vectors from this waypoint right here. We're just going to continue flying in this direction till we are ready to turn in to the ILS. It's not a problem. Fine, I'll do that. Checklist, a landing, that is done. A landing gear nowhere near flaps. I'm going to wait for flaps. I'm going to wait for our speed to drop a little bit more before I think about deploying some flaps here. Look at that wing flex. Look at that wing flex. Look at the shape of those wings. Beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, that is really nice. Alrighty. Okay, we're pretty much just gonna... nothing else to do here right now. Except enjoy the views. Nothing else to do except enjoy the views. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the time being. Okay, you know what? While I'm waiting for this, let me go and change my sub goals. My sub goals. Okay. There we go. Change the sub goals right there. FMC message, what is it telling me? Good lord. What is it telling me? Unable to maintain VNAV descent speed, extend speed brake as required. Alright, matey. Alright, matey. There we go. We are descending now as required down towards 2800, and we're using the speed brake to slow us down, and it's time for flaps, eh? Flaps 5, ladies and gentlemen. Flaps 5. Let's go. Flaps 5. Brilliant. It's a gorgeous aircraft. Someone really needs to make a study level 787 because it's so beautiful. It's also absolutely easy to fly. Very, very pleasurable. Now, I'm a huge fan of retro aircrafts with the dials and the old-fashioned systems and, you know, true raw airmanship. I really love that. But at the same time, I also love the glass cockpits as well. So I enjoy both extremes very, very much. I didn't think I would enjoy this, but I really do. So yeah, I enjoy both extremes quite well. Extreme old style with retro stuff and dials only, pure raw airmanship. And I also love this. I love both. Can't help it. Can't help it. Okay. Looking good. We need to drop our flaps seriously here. Let's go down to position number 20. I believe that's as low as I can go without extending my gear just yet. Dropping my gear, I should say. So yeah, looking good. That high angle of attack hopefully gets corrected as the flaps drop. Okay, what is going on right now? Flaps at 20. Good. Good. Okay, I need to turn on Sky Dolly so that we can have a landing replay, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like using... Oh, this is not 2024. There's flight control replay embedded in 2024, which I don't like using. I like using Sky Dolly. Okay, I'm going to leave it here so that we can take a good look at the landing gear dropping when it's time. Not yet, we still have some way to go. I'm going to continue flying in this direction for a bit more before I turn in towards Gampy, I believe it's called. Is it called Gampy? What is it called? Grumpy, sorry, my bad. Grumpy, not Gampy, Grumpy. Alrighty, where is our airport? I don't see it. It's supposed to be somewhere here, right? It should be. Huh. Is it there? I have no idea. But it's nearby. It is very, very nearby. There are no center fixes or final fixes for this ILS. Wait, do we have the ILS tuned in? Oh no, we don't. Good lord, I gotta do this quickly. I forgot about tuning in the ILS, man. I forgot. Let me do that really quickly here. Luckily we got vectors, so we got some time. Thank God for that. Okay, so we need, the course is 275, 108.50. We need to tune that in. 108.50. Oh God, come on. 108.50 ILS. And the course is 275, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to put that in there. 275. Put that in there and turn that on there. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay. I'm gonna turn in now. Okay. So we're gonna go directly execute. There we go. Turning in right away. Turning in right away. Okay. Let me try and turn on approach mode in advance here. There we go. We should be just fine now. Once we reach here, we should be able to catch the glide slope at 2,800 feet. We will be just fine, if I'm not completely mistaken. Let me have a look at this. 2,804 nautical miles will be just fine. No issues. No issues, ladies and gentlemen. No issues whatsoever. So yeah. Yep. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, we can I don't have visual on the runway just yet, right? I'll drop the gear once we catch. No, you know what? Let me go outside. Drop the gear right now. There we go. Beautiful view of our gear dropping. Flaps down. Full. Okay. Landing checklist done. Next is shutdown. We don't need to worry about that. Oh, we didn't turn on these lights, man. We forgot about this. We forgot about turning on our landing lights at 10,000 feet. That's not cool. Passenger seatbelt signs were also supposed to be turned on at 10,000 feet. Forgot about it completely. This is why you follow your own made-up checklist at least. Okay, so now we're just gonna pretty much fly at this level till we catch something in terms of glide slope and localizer. Alright, nothing else to do here. Brilliant. Look at how gorgeous we look as we come into land. Airport is ahead of us. I can see it. That is Atlanta in the distance. What is going on right now? Okay, localizer has been caught. Excellent. Brilliant. Waiting for glide slope now. Looking good. Turning in. Brilliant. Okay. That's a good view right there. Still haven't got the glide slope. We haven't dipped yet. We have not yet begun descending. Beautiful. Look at that. We can see Atlanta off to our right. Airport ahead from the gear view underneath the wing. Beautiful view. Coming up on 1 hour 45 minutes into the stream, so yeah, pretty accurate prediction there by me. 40 minutes into landing. Well, actually I was off by a bit, but you know, it's not too bad. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. Come on, why aren't we dropping just yet? Have a look at what's going on in the cockpit here. Okay. Alright, that is looking good. There we go. Begun our descent right there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely. Okay, it's time for me to get back into the cockpit here and take control if I need to. I'll take control at 1500 feet. I shall take control at 1500 feet. We got auto throttle still running, which is fine. Going to bring down my speed here to 100 and... No, I'm not gonna use the... Okay, I'm gonna disengage. My aircraft, ladies and gentlemen, my aircraft. Okay. The controls. Do I like the way it feels? No, I don't, but I'm gonna go in and fly it anyway. Let's find out how it turns out. In 2024, famously, the glide slopes don't align with the... I mean, in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, my bad. The glide slopes do not align with the puppy lights, so I'm gonna go in visually, ignore the glide slope in case there's a discrepancy. I'm just letting you know now. So I'm just going in by puppy lights rather than the glide slope. Okay. Slightly bumpy, but no wind. Not much of wind in any way. That's good. There we go. Bring that out flat. There we go. Bring that out flat. Learn to make some continuous adjustments here. There we go.
Approaching minimums.
Okay, we're continuing on. Okay, firm touchdown there. Reverse is engaged. What? Come on, reverse. Oh, good lord. My reverses aren't working. Yep, reverse is not working. Look at this. What the heck is going on? Yep, reverse isn't working at all. Now it's working. What the hell? Okay, so we had, again, like I said in the beginning of the flight, had a little bit of an issue with the reverse, but it's okay. We're in there, firm touchdown. I need to get the control sorted so I can perform better landings than that. Not an issue. We are in. We are in, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, let's go ahead and turn off right here. Okay, Go and turn off right here. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Turn off lights off. Flaps up. Speed brake completely stored. And there we go. There we go. There we go. We just crossed the runway, but that's okay. Welcome to Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atlanta. Do we have APU running? I need to do that right away. There we go. APU is running. That landing could have been better, of course. And reverse thrust again. I had the keys. I had my hand on the keyboard, but didn't work, man. It did not work. For some reason, it did not work. So annoying. So annoying. On this aircraft, I have issues with mapping the controls for reverse thrust. But anyway, it worked when I didn't need it. Okay. Nonetheless, not an issue at all. Auto brake did the trick. We didn't really even need reverse thrust, so we did not have any issues right there. Let me find myself a parking here. Which one shall I get? Which parking shall we take, ladies and gentlemen? I need a large parking fairly. These parkings don't seem like they're the right size. I'll go for this one. I'll take this one. Let us just turn in right now. Just gonna take a parking right here. Probably too small for us, but I'm not too worried. Yeah, probably too small for us, but not a problem. Not a problem. There we go. Lovely. Let's come in and park the aircraft, and don't forget we've got landing replays available. We've got landing replays available. So we're going to take a look at them in just a second. Let's just do the necessary and get this aircraft stopped here. Come on. Come on. Parking brake has been set. Yeah, that parking's okay, I guess. Okay, great. So before we do anything funny with the aircraft now, let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replay. All right. Rewinding. Before we go further, let me just set up a nice little view there. There we go. Let's rewind this thing and take a look at our landing replays. Let's take a look. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not the best, but not the worst. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from another view here, shall we? Let's check out this view. Perfect. Should have pulled back a little more there, but nonetheless not too terrible, and we are down just like that, just like that. Let me show you guys one more view there from this side. Okay, let's play that. There we go. Yeah, auto brake did the trick for us, so we didn't really need to worry about it today. But usually having no reverses can be a problem with the kind of landings I usually do. But yeah, today was a simple, straightforward flight, so we didn't really have any need of it. Okay, let's go back to our parking and shut down our aircraft, shall we? Let's go back to our parking and shut down our aircraft. There we go, back in that parking right there. Brilliant. Okay, let's get in here, turn off our taxi lights. Strobe lights, we turned them off. Yeah, these are off, those are off. Okay, excellent. Nav lights, those are good. APU is running now, right? APU is running. Just gonna attach these for no reason. And we're gonna cut the engines. Come to the checklist. Absolutely lovely sounds. As we spool down there. Great, great, great stuff. We go to GSX, request deboarding there. Thank you very much. Passenger signs off there. Parking brake is set. Hydraulic panel all to off. Fuel pumps to off. There we go, and that is done. We can also secure the aircraft here if we want to. You know what? I'll leave it unsecured here. I'm not going to secure the aircraft. I'm going to leave it unsecured. I'm going to turn off window heat. I'm going to leave everything else exactly the way it is. You know what? I'll just leave it on. Yeah, I'm just going to leave the aircraft exactly the way it is. Why not? So, yep. In the next stream, I'm going to fly the reverse leg. I'm going to go from Atlanta, right here, to back to Orlando. And I'm going to do it in 2024. Wait, I requested deboarding. How is... What? Oh. We got something wrong here. Yep, the jetway doesn't connect. The jetway does not connect. Can you believe that? Oh, for the love of God. There's a GSX guy right there, but the jetway didn't connect for some reason. I thought I had the profile for Atlanta installed. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll just leave it with the view of the cargo being offloaded. Alright. EM says Olympic Games. Right. Alrighty. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's flight. We're going to be doing the return leg of this flight from Atlanta back towards Orlando in the next stream, and I'm going to do that in 2024 so we can compare how the Horizon 787-9 is in 2020 versus 2024. Yeah, it's a little too clean there, but you know, it's not too terrible. It is not too terrible. It's a free mod at the end of the day. A free is it's a mod. Yeah, it's a free mod. I think so. Not too sure. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's not too terrible. We'll take a look at it in 2024. Okay. I thought I had traffic going. I do have traffic injection, don't I? Don't I have traffic injection? I do have traffic injection. So why on earth are there no planes? There are barely any aircrafts at Atlanta, which makes no sense. Atlanta is one of the world's busiest airports, and there are no aircrafts at these gates whatsoever. What the hell? There are aircrafts here, so you can see that the traffic injection is working. It's not like it's not working. There's aircraft there, there's aircraft there, there's aircraft here. So there's only aircraft at this terminal. What about the rest of them? It's completely empty. Oh, there's another aircraft there. That's it? Come on. This is Atlanta we're talking about. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, whatever. whatever. Keep flying. Thank you very much, EM. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you to everybody. A Cup of Vinyl, EM, for chiming in on today's stream. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, chatting with me, and helping me to keep flying by keeping me motivated. Thank you very much for the engagement. I really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, we'll leave today's stream right here. I shall catch you in the next one. I will have another video coming out very soon as well. See how that one goes as well. Anyway, thank you very much, and I shall catch you in the next one. See you guys.